Let's go. Hello and welcome back to Automotive Tales. Today we are out in the Rolls-Royce Silver Spirit. We're taking it to see Rolls Yoda. That's right, we're taking it to see Duane at Starman's, who is the man that has effectively kept this car on the road for us. One doesn't want to get one's hands dirty on one's Rolls-Royce, or simply the fact that it weighs 2.5 tonnes and I'm not convinced my jacks or lifts are actually good enough to put this on. So we're taking it to somebody who really understands these cars, because they are not as simple as other cars for doing DIY maintenance. For example, the twin circuit brakes, which you can very easily get wrong, and various other quirks and features that come along with these SZ chassis cars. So, as you would expect from a Rolls, it is a very wallowy ride, but then it isn't a sports car. Ooh, it's windy today, my word. We are rocking and rolling, and not in a good way. Goodness me. Even if you had the Harvey Bailey handling kit on it, it still isn't really a sports car. And they were relatively quick for their era, certainly for a car of the size, but they're definitely built for comfort, not speed. As you can probably see as I'm rolling around in the car, because, well, the UK roads aren't that great. Just as he says that, we appear on some roadworks. Right, let's see it go. Oh, it picks up all right. That's not terrible. So when we put the car into storage, it had some fuel in it, but actually a lot less than I'd realised. We've started it a few times over winter and burnt quite a bit of that fuel off. So we went and put 30 quid worth of fuel in this morning, and that has given us less than a quarter of a tank. Maybe a sixth of a tank. Wow, that's a little bit disturbing. And now with the introduction of E10 fuel, you absolutely can't use 95 or 97. It's going to be 99 or nothing, basically. I can't remember whereabouts on this road I need to turn. We're passing Norton Juxta Twycross. Keep your eyes peeled on the channel for that to reappear. I really should have scripted something, shouldn't I? I don't really have an awful lot to say while I'm driving this, mainly because I'm just enjoying the drive. This is beautiful. So far, so good. For a car that hasn't moved for really quite a long time. Brakes are a little bit spongy, but they are there, and if you lean on them hard enough, it does stop very quickly. It has twin calipers on each corner, which is interesting. Not to do with handbrakes like some vehicles that have twin calipers. It's just because it's such a massive, heavy lump of steel that can go, if pushed, relatively quickly. So yeah, it needs quite a bit of stopping power. Now then, is that the turning that's coming up? I think it might well be. No, that is one too early, I think. That was the wrong way, folks. One turning too early. Sorry, just waiting for the support vehicle. Okay, well, we made a minor detour because Numbnuts here took a wrong turn. So let's see how she goes out of this junction. Woohoo! Well, that's not bad with 20, 30, 35, 40, 45, slowing down, 50, 55, and again, we're coming up to a corner, need to slow down. 50's a good speed. 50's perfectly fine. As I said before, she's built for comfort, not for speed. On a serious note, from a mental health point of view, there is nothing more lovely than wafting along in a beautiful classic car on a bright, sunny spring day. Seriously, it makes me feel a world better. Right, here we go. The correct turning. I was only one junction too early. It's not that bad, right? So the indicator is on at the moment, and even that is quiet. The dullest of tones for the indicator. You can just about hear the relay clicking somewhere behind all the leather and wood. It's very Rolls-Royce. I'm starting to get back used to how you hold the steering wheel. You don't grip the steering wheel in a Rolls-Royce like you would in another car. You don't hold on for dear life. No, you merely grasp it gently with your fingers and just feed it slowly through, because it needs just the mildest touch of input to the steering. Kind of want to go back to that original question. What is it like to drive a Rolls-Royce Silver Spirit? Very relaxing, I would say. Cathartic, almost. Just a comfortable place. It's like a warm, gentle hug. The comfortable leather seats, the nice smell, the environment. It's got a good heating system, so it's nice and warm in here today, despite being 6 degrees outside or whatever it is. It's lovely. If you have a stressful job and you need to unwind, and you can afford the maintenance and the fuel and everything that goes with it, I would highly recommend Rolls-Royce. This really is rather lovely. I had planned on doing a whole lengthy review and talk about cool features and the funny stuff we've done with the car. We could do that in the studio. This is just relaxing. Well, relaxing apart from one thing. I can hear the whine from the diff, which is the reason it's going in the first place. I think it's dropping a tiny amount of oil over time. I think it's just a smidge low. So that minor concern is spoiling my complete enjoyment, but not by a huge amount. I'm sure Mrs. Automotive Tales is probably fed up of me travelling at 50 everywhere when we are on a national speed limit road, so I could quite happily do 60. But there's nobody behind her, and to be honest, I'm dead comfortable. This is lovely. I'll take the rap on the knuckles later. So as we approach Market Bosworth, sadly, this beautiful, very short drive is coming to an end. However, we're going to get the chance to speak to Duane. I haven't seen Duane for, well, a year, since the car had its MOT just before lockdown in 2020. And hopefully, all being well, we can have a little look at the workshop, because there's always some amazing things, but be warned, you might not get to see a great deal. There's always some very beautiful, very exotic and very expensive cars in the workshop. So I will only be showing you anything that he's happy with me putting on camera. Oh my word. I really hope I can show you this footage, because there are some truly astonishing machines here. And viewers, we have arrived. So we've had both output shafts on the diff.
Both the output shafts, left and right hand, and I can't believe the difference in price in the seals.
Really?
Yeah.
Different left to right?
Yeah. One's 141 quid plus VAT, and the other one's 48. This is a slightly different bit of size, but the right hand one is also the rear camshaft seal.
What? It's the same...
Same seal, what they use on the rear camshaft. It's mad.
So one's cheaper because they're making it in bulk, I guess. They're doubling the quantity they're using.
Yeah, and the left-hand one I couldn't get from anywhere. They don't do an aftermarket one.
So I've got a blank look on my face. I'm thinking, but that's to the other end of the vehicle. But it's just, it's the same seal.
Yeah. No, the old ones I've chucked into them, flipped them out.
So it's those two seals.
Yeah. Done the fan belts. Yeah, which we've done them because they, well, RTL started up to move it. Okay, it was tick, 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 and they're shredded.
Yeah.
Took the gearbox actuator off, stripped that down, tested the switch, and it was stuck, and then it freed off.
Cool.
So you can hear it clicking.
Another one. I suspect it was probably fine not long before I bought the car, and it was sat at Matthewson's for God knows how many.
You can hear it clipping like that, but it wasn't actually. I think it had been. It must have either been left in reverse at some point in its life, and it stayed on.
Stop there. And
it should burnt it on.
Yeah. I wonder whether someone, instead of flicking it into park, had flipped it into reverse, and if you turn the engine off, it would probably still sit quite happily in reverse.
So we've done all that, we've built that, but that seems alright. Put you some new bulbs in, because I couldn't find the old ones.
No, they're buried under the boot floor somewhere. I took them out on the first time I drove it with anybody following me that knew me. I got a phone call saying, you know your reverse light's on. and we were on the way to France at that point. So I was like, well, maybe we'll just stop and take those out.
Check them out, yeah. So yeah, put the new balls in, and then we've done checked it over and had a good look around it, and then the MOT.
Happy days.
And the only thing you did pick up on the MOT was you don't use the handbrake, do you?
No.
You know, if you press it,
yeah,
it's working. But you know when you pull it off, it's quite tight, and the warning light stays on. So you just have to give it a bit of an oik just to pull it back up.
I might maybe get in the habit then of putting the handbrake on a few times and taking it off.
Try it, but when you do pull it off, the handbrake light's staying on. Just get your hand underneath it, just pull it back. You've only got you literally it's got to move a millimetre.
Yeah.
It's just and there's no more adjustment on the switch. Other than getting a big pair of Stilsons in there and bending something, I thought, no, not doing that. We'll live with that. You've actually done
half of it. We'll get paid.
400 miles in it. Exactly.
Exactly what it was.
Look, it's done 91,408.
Oh, exactly.
91,008. It's the same diff. This has got bolt-on shafts.
Yeah.
So this is the Lobo shafts. Yours has got the early ones on it, which is Silver Shadow.
Right, yes, because mine's an 81. The very first.
Yeah, it's one of the early ones. So in there, that picture I showed you, you've got two caps you take off, and it's got a UJ in it.
Yeah. As opposed to a CV that you've got on here.
On this, you can unbolt them and you can take the drive shaft out. On that, you can't.
Of course, you've got to move the whole hub out of the way to get the drive shaft out.
So we had to drop the whole diff out.
Just to get the seal, which is where
in
is
there.
it? Right up in
that plate.
Hold on, I'm going to spin around this way.
In that plate in there. But I've done them both anyway.
Just in there.
Yeah.
So it's had two new seals in the diff then.
Yeah.
Which was a fun job by all accounts. I guess the important thing is now I need to go and settle up. Right, what's the damage you tell them? What do I owe you?
Well, including the taxman's bit, just over £1,000.
Cool.
Because it took me about 5. In fact, it took me longer than what I've charged you to do that bloody diff because it was a nightmare. Well, I forgot what an idiot there was to do.
That works for me at least.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that. No, I appreciate it. Okay, so that is all for this episode on the Rolls-Royce. We've fixed the reverse switch, we've sorted the leaking seals on the diff, so hopefully we're in for a summer of trouble-free motoring. But we'll do another episode and tell you all about some of the features and some of the fun things we've done with the car. So if you'd like to keep tabs on the project, do please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.